All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. The honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, rule well and teach well. Shalom to the hopefully like men that scattered abroad, pushing the truth without sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to you very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. So like, I'm the brother, I'm the one coming into the video a little more edifying, right, and to the point, right, and it's not gonna be a long lesson, but just more of a PSA, this is come land back about the apostles and head bros been saying, bishops, right, on down, about speech, our speech, especially inside these times, because we can all see, right, what the brothers just want to know, you're right, you feel my sisters that's within the know. We see that what's at the door is famine of hearing the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. As you can see what happened inside the headlines, what was it last week? Out there towards out west, dang, I'm trying to make sure my words be on point. But was worded correctly, Salaki. Right, but as you had a major event that happened out west, right? Not the one with the Ukraine woman, right, on the train with that black dude, but the other major incident that happened that same day, right? I think that same week, within the same week, right? But nonetheless, right, I just want to go into this term, right, speaking in code. Because that's what we have been doing for a while, starting with the apostles, right? Especially pertaining, to things like the MOTB, right? Because at one point in time, that topic was real hot. And if you was saying, the full thing or breaking it down with not trying to speak it in code, they was deleting videos. There was flagging channels, right? Suspending you from YouTube. Right, and you got to speak in code, man. Right, there's no sense of bringing that upon yourself when we can take a quick avenue, another detour. Right, we're still going to reach the elect, because scriptures talk about my sheep shall hear my voice and they're gonna follow. Right, so either we speaking in code or speaking it plain, playing out, right? It's still going to reach the elect's ears, right? But right now we have to take a detour route when speaking to the elect, because things are getting hot again, right? As you can see with the dude, Jimmy Campbell, right? What happened to him speaking about the incident that had happened, right? But let me get this right here, right quick. Once again, we are coming to a time of hearing, a famine of hearing the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and we are the mouthpiece of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So I'm going to get those things as well. All right, so speaking in code means communicating with hidden, secret, or indirect meanings, either by using specific jargon, slang, or references understood by a particular group, or to be, I say it in my head, but I can't get it out. Evasive and avoid responsibility for one's true message, right? So pretty much, you're trying to stay under the radar with certain things. Certain words will flag. This algorithm, it'll flag Esau, Edom, even though we know they're watching, right? But we're in a time of trying to change up the words a little bit, not change up the prophecies, but change the wordplay. So this message can still get out to the elect, right? So and this raises another reason why we talk about saying scriptures, Salakia, is high time to wake out of sleep. Because our salvation didn't even believe, right? Because we know that before our salvation, all hell has to break loose, right? The ark, right? The spiritual arc, right, has to close. Same thing how it was with Noah, right? It has to close, So we have to before that happens, all he has to before we get on that kingdom, right? All he has to break loose, right? And all hell breaking loose really signifies that the time of repentance is closed for us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. Right, so like I said, speaking in code, meaning you got to speak with secret, right? Hit indirect meanings. You know, like we said, we 2020, like the matter of fact, I was watching the officer Karatza, Yahweh Shemashah Barakatah. He was just saying, hey, like I was in 2020. We had to speak in code for the jump shot, telling you not to take that. We know we're even closer now because they can start deeming us as the big T word, man. And we have to what? Code that. We have to code a lot of things, right? But it's not to the point where the elect is not gonna be able to reach it, right? Understand it, right? Matter of fact, let me grab this quick precept I had. It's like Colossians 4:6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. See? And that's the thing about it with us, learn from the apostles, man. Seasoned with salt. And when you think about it, look, when you season with salt, I mean, it's on point. You putting just enough. You season that bad boy up. You have to. You can't give it to them bland. Right now, because, hey, you give it to them bland, right, we guarantee you that your video can get taken down. Hell, they might go a step further and just take your channel. That's what we at with. So you got to season that bad boy up. You got to use different words, man. Right? So certain things, you can't just teach on it bland. You can't teach on it straight and raw and uncut. Right? You got to put some salt on that thing. Let me see about this. Right, it's already up here. Excuse me. And I'm not gonna read what it says, but you can see it for yourself. Right, this is what got this man in the hot seat. Right. And not just anything, hey, he's out of there. This for speaking on it. See? And that's a sensitive topic. Look, see, and that's why the pot said, man, hey, gotta speak in code, gotta be seasoned. Right? Right, so nonetheless, let me go back to those precepts that I was talking about. Because I did say the Lord speak through his servants, the prophets. And like I said, we don't have but so much longer until they just start taking down channels, right? Eventually, we know what's going to happen, right? But this is not the time to do so right now. This is not the time to draw that heat to yourself right now, So, right, Amos. I don't know why I thought about the Apocrypha. Alright. I could do that inside here. This is the book of Amos 8. I'm just going too fast, right? This is Amos 3. Oh yeah, segment 15, that's what it was called. Oh yeah, about Shemashah. Right, this is Amos 3 verse 7. It says, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. See? He reveals his secrets to his servants the prophets. And a family of hearing the words of the Lord is prophecy itself, right? He revealed that to us. So we already know through discernment, right? Well, the closer we get to that time period where he remove us from out the highways and hedges, right? And he's gonna start censoring the channels. Certain things you will not be able to say. Certain things will really cost you your channel, right? As you can see with Jimmy Kimmel, right? But it says he will not do nothing, but he revealeth his secret into his servants, the prophets, right? So he let us know, starting off with our apostles, on down to us, right? He revealed his secret, the family of hearing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, right? Soon come, you will not be able to hear this video here, this lesson, right? And these prophecies are for an appointed time, right? When you read the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse, right? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right? So let me go from there, and let me go back to that 2 Ezra 15 and 1 and 2. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, right, which are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. It says the words of prophecy. See, the Lord has gave us the job to speak in the ears of our people, right? Really. I mean, it's to all of them, but the elect is going to receive. The elect is going to obtain it. But it says, speak down the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, right? So the Lord has put the spirit upon us of the prophecies, knowing that Amos 8 and 11 is going to be coming down the pipeline real soon. Salakia. Right? It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, right? We know the Lord is the man that shall not lie. So we know these things are coming down the pipeline real soon, right? You will not be able to get answers from the prophets, man. Baka will be out the way, right? So, what else I had? I was about to bring up. Matter of fact, I just go straight to it. I think it's on Google. I can grab it, but I want to grab this one precept in the book of Ezekiel. Because at the end of the day, we're warning our people, that Yahweh Shai's finna, make that comeback. But before he do so, he's gonna remove his prophets. We're not gonna be on the street corners. We're not gonna be, just in the mix, right? The Lord gonna have us put up like how He did Noah, man. Because we done working. That precept that I wanted was that Ezekiel, was it 3:25? Let me see. And I think it's inside that NLT. Ooh, that's heavy too in the AI overview. It says describes a prophetic event where the prophet Ezekiel would be metaphorically or literally bound with ropes and gagged, preventing him from speaking to or going out among the rebellious people of Israel. Right? And we come in the same spirit of Ezekiel today. I think it's through 27, but I'm not sure. I think it's in the GNT. What's the contemporary English version? Salakia. I'm just trying to knock this on out. Alright, and let me finally park and finish the rest of this lesson. This Ezekiel 3:25 through 27 in a good post contemporary. Right, contemporary English version. It says, "You will be tied up to keep you inside, and I will make you unable to talk or to warn those who have rebelled against me." See, so the Lord will put that. Hey, that's what He did with Noah, man. He put him inside that ark, and you couldn't even open it up. You couldn't even speak to these folks, man. Right, they was rebellious. Right, but it says, "You will be tied up to keep you inside, and I will make you unable to talk or to warn those who have rebelled against me." Right, the times of warning is over with. Right, it's in full-fledged action now. Right, it says, "But the time will come when I will tell you what to say, and you will again be able to speak my message. Some of them will listen, others will be stubborn and refuse to listen." You know, just point being in 25-26. You know, the Lord's finna, have the prophets, right, not speaking no more. Right? He gonna one of the versions say you're gonna be paralyzed. Your tongue gonna be paralyzed, right? For something to be paralyzed, it means it's not moving, it's not working. Right? And let's finish it off in the book of Amos, chapter 8 and 11. Right? And it's just the point, Lord willing, the point has been made already. But it just goes to show you that, hey, we come to a time period where you not have access to the servants of prophets, man, right? They're already, clipping people for speaking on that one incident. So how much more as the days go by when they're showing you more things about this MOTB system? Amos 8, verse 11. "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. And that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst." What they're going to be thirsting for? Just truth, right? And they're going to faint because they're not going to be able to get to it, And this is the famine in the land, right? Now the famine of bread, no thirst for water, right? Which we know will happen, right? But hey, this right here is more key, It's more key to be sustained inside these last days, man. So yeah, this overall just piggybacking off what I said lambacking Salakia, lambacking off the apostles and like I said, elder brothers and on down. But just watching out for your speech overall, especially speaking on certain events. You have to speak in code. You don't want to bring no unnecessary attention to yourself and have to start over with a new page. Ain't nothing wrong with doing it, but don't want to bring that unnecessary attention when you can maneuver around. That's what it means by being seasoned, with speech, man. So Lord, when this lesson was edifying, I'm going to give our honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, by Shem Krakadah. Shalom.